Okay. So, so Venkat, you got it right. So
Yes, yes, yes.
this is a task again, guys. Whatever I'm just telling you and doing it, you try to do something extra. Okay, something. Try to do something. Twist your whatever things you are learning. Just twist it. Do something. Try to break it and try to fix it again. Then you will learn. Otherwise, it will be so. Whatever you are just watching from the video or watching from the session, and if you're doing the same thing, so that will not help you to learn and grow faster, right? So you have to do something different. Like, do first time whatever I have done, try to break it, try to see what is going on, and try to fix by yourself. Then you'll get confidence. Okay, and then next time, if you have time, try to do something else. Get a different server, create different multiple files, get some applications, put it there, try to break it again and fix it. In that way you'll be master actually. Okay, until unless you do two times three times, then you'll not go into that level. Okay, so guys, so let's Dilip join. So we'll not waste time. So we'll start with today. We'll discuss about the auto scaling. So last class we discussed about the load balancer, which is one of the important topic in the cloud as well as on-premises servers or anything. But today we are going to discuss about the auto scaling. Auto scaling also has good. Also, it has a demand on. Also, it has similar kind of weightage in the cloud because most of the companies they're using auto scaling and load balancer together for their applications and servers. Okay, so today we'll discuss about the auto scaling. So can anybody tell any ideas what is exactly the auto scaling? Anything, whatever you know about the auto scaling.
In graphics, you are doing the image to the big and then again you are bringing down to small. That is in scaling processor. In graphics, it's called auto scaling.
um,
That image can be, yeah, make it to little bit big, and you will get the all the data and all. Then you can bring down again to automatically. If you provide the user interface input, then it will come to scaling to down.
yeah,
Allocating resources and you know the that scaling as needed.
Based on the demands, how you infill the resources on demand.
Yep.
You have to define a minimum requirement and maximum requirement. So, when the demand needs more number of resources will be there, so automatic allocation can happen.
exactly. So
Yeah, automatic distribution of request throughout the processor.
yeah, so whatever we're selling that auto scaling, so here we'll see about the automatically scale up scale down of our resources based on your like the customer load, bigger traffic load, traffic requests, right? So based on our system availability, based on your resource availability. So when we talk about the resources, so we have to think about the computer resources, the computing resources, not the other resources. The computing resources, what will be the computing resources? That will be our storage, that will be our memory, that will be our bandwidth. Okay, that will be our server itself. So these are the resources. So how we can automatically scale up, scale down, scale in and scale out the things based on our need, based on our immediate requirement, immediate need. So when we talk about the immediate, think about one uh, e-commerce site like Amazon. So if in case of someone, suppose in a festival season like in Christmas, so what happens? Many people, many customers will hit the Amazon site to buy something. Okay, so if you think about a regular days, regular time, there will have some limited customers visiting the server and searching or getting buying something. But if you think about, sorry guys, so uh, if you think about in a different way, right? So in case of Christmas and all, so what happens? Multiple customers and it will be increased. And the In the standard days, whatever the resources they have, it may increase the computing power, right? It may get increase the load on that. So what will happen, so you'll get the customers will face some slowness, or they may find some timeout error or something, like they will not reach to the Amazon server. In that case, what all Amazon can put on auto scaling group or auto scaling setups. What happens whenever the resource power increases some threshold like 80% or 70%, you set the threshold, it increases that, then it automatically add new resources in that place, so that it can easily handle the customers and the traffic, so that it will not impact their business. Okay, that is, we'll see that is what is this auto scaling. So let's see, let me share my screen and we'll discuss more on that. Okay, so in the computing term, what is auto scaling? Autoscaling is a way to automatically scale up or down the number of compute resources that are being allocated to your application based on its needs at any given time. So we don't know when our traffic or when our customer gets increased. When the customers increase, when the traffic comes, then obviously the loads will happen on our system. So to overcome this problem, we definitely need to set up the auto scaling thing. So unexpected increases increase in our systems or in our applications, to handle that we need auto scaling. So it helps you to ensure that you have the correct number of Amazon EC2 instances available to handle the load for your applications. That's a auto scaling provided by AWS. Okay, so what are the components it has? So we'll see the components called groups. So remember guys, these things which we are going to work. So today we'll learn auto scaling, as well as we'll see the configuration templates. Actually this configuration templates also has a very good demand, also very good usage of in the AWS cloud and in the automations part. We'll see today everything. We'll I'll try to finish the theoretical part quickly, and then we'll jump into the demo and lab classes. Okay, so what is the groups? EC2 instances are organized into groups so that they can be treated as a logical unit for the purpose of scaling and management. When you create a group, you can specify its minimum, maximum, and desired number of EC2 instances. So we have seen, like in our last classes in the load balancer, we set up a group, load balancing group. What is that group? In that group, we registered few servers which is required for the load balancer to use it, right? Similarly, here also we have to create a group, and that group we have to register the things, what are the component, whatever the computing resources we need to use in our auto scaling, that also we have to create. Next is configuration template. So what is this configuration template? It uses a launch template or launch configuration as a configuration template for your EC2 instances. You can specify information such as AMI ID, instance type, key pair, and whatever it is. So whenever we create a server manually, what we do, we go and select the launch instances, and then select the AMI, select the instance type, select the storage, select the security group, select whatever we want, and then create it. So it takes some time, comparatively some time, to create one EC2 instances. So if you create a template, already you know what are the things you need for your organization, for your requirement of that project. Based on that, you can create 2, 3, 4, or 5 or 7 templates, and whenever immediate requirement comes, you don't have to go manually create any instances. You can directly come to the template, click launch instance, it will create an instance immediately from the template. That will easy our task, that will save lots of time. We'll see that today how we can achieve that. Okay, and the next one is scaling options. So what are the scaling options? We'll see there are various scaling options available based on the your requirement, you can set up the scaling options. So auto scaling provides several ways for your to scale your auto scaling groups. For example, you can configure a group to scale based on the occurrence of specified condition, dynamic scaling, or on a schedule that we'll discuss in our upcoming slide. So if you see this diagram here, auto scaling group, right? We can see our the maximum size. Suppose the maximum size is 4, and we can set up in the group how many desired capacity. Desired capacity suppose 2, and the minimum size should be 1, and the scale out as needed. That means desired capacity is 2 always. That means your auto scaling group will never go down to 2. It will be always desired capacity 2. Even though it one is breaks down, suppose desired capacity is 2 and the one server is goes down, what the auto scaling group will do, it will automatically create one for you, and it will always make sure that you have the desired capacity. And whatever the maximum size, the maximum size you can set up as 4. Suppose in case of any further increases in the load or traffic, or you need new servers to be created, auto scaling group based on the setup you have done in the scaling options, it will create other servers. So we'll see what are the scaling options and how we can handle all those. Okay, so these are the scaling options various. So what it does, maintain current instance levels at all times. That is the one of the scaling option. The next one, scale manually. So we have also options to scale manually. If we cannot afford automatically to scale up and we are not that confident on that, so we can do the scale manually whenever you are doing some ad hoc things. And because how the automatic things happens based on the threshold, sometimes what happens, your threshold has not reached, but you need some server to check the automatically to add one more server, sorry, manually to add one server. So in that case you can go ahead and create one server manually. And scale based on a schedule, we'll see, and scale based on a demand. Then use predictive scaling. So nowadays, every organization, companies, what they are doing, they are using some predictive scaling. So the predictive scaling, how they achieve it? They are achieving through artificial intelligence and machine learning, that AI and ML. So we'll see how that can be also done in the auto scaling. So these are the scaling options. And guys, remember, you may get questions on this. So what type of scaling options, and how you can do, and you can explain what are the options deeply. Okay, so let's move on and check. Let me just do a slide slow here. Suppose here, okay, so maintain current instance levels at all times. So what it means, we can configure our autoscaling group to maintain a specified number of running instances at all time. To maintain the current instance levels, EC2 autoscaling performs a periodic health check on the running instances within an autoscaling group. So when Amazon EC2 autoscaling finds an unhealthy instance, it terminates that instance and launches a new one. What is this means, guys? It's very simple. The maintain the current instance levels at all times. Suppose you have set of like, you always need 4 instances to serve your application. 4 instances, 4 servers. So your auto scaling group will never make it down. Suppose in case of anything happen, it because the auto scaling group also do automatically health checks. Okay, if it finds like any servers, anything happen to your server, it goes down or it is not responding, what it will do? It will automatically destroy that application, sorry, destroy that server and recreate another server in that space. And it should always maintain the same level of instances whatever you have set up. You need 4 means 4 level of instances should be there. Okay, so uh, what happens next? Next we have scale manually. So manually scaling is the most basic way to scale your resources, where you specify only the change in the maximum, minimum and desired capacity of your autoscaling group. So Amazon EC2 autoscaling manages the process of creating or terminating instances to maintain the updated capacity. Suppose scale manually in the sense, suppose you have in Mumbai region, we have three servers, three applications running on three different servers, wave 1, wave 2 and wave 3. Suppose in case you unexpectedly your request means your traffic increases, your you see any maximum loads on your servers, or you get a new requirement or new client which is required more servers. So what you can do, you can manually scale up like one more server, and you can put your applications to do that on, and another server you can add it. In case suppose that client goes down and you are facing very less resources, then and you don't need extra servers to put it there, so you can remove those two servers, so you'll have another again those threes. So based on the need, you can manually scale up and scale down. The same thing also we'll see in the scale based on a schedule. So scaling by schedule means that scaling options are performed automatically as a function of time and date. Suppose you need your applications, you need like suppose this particular time or particular day or particular month, uh, you need that particular servers, and you find like your application is always loaded, or you are getting more requests, more customers are coming to your site and visiting your application on those particular dates. What you can schedule some times, so that on those particular time you automatically it will scale off another servers. Okay, so this is useful when you know exactly when to increase and decrease the number of instances in your group particular time based on the schedule. Like you guys would have seen in the Unix, right, the con scheduler and all these, right? So that we can do the setups. Okay, so next one is scale based on demand. As I was talking about the demand about Amazon e-commerce site or Flipkart or any e-commerce site, how they do that. So scale based on a demand. So it is a more advanced way to scale your resources using scaling policies. If you have a web application that currently run on two instances and you want the CPU utilization of that auto scaling group to stay at around 50% when the load on the application changes. That means if you have set up like if you are getting more resources or more customers or more traffic, and you always maintain the CPU utilization should be under the around 50%. It should not increase. If it increases 50% more, then it will add one more instance or one more CPU's core into the group. So this method is useful for scaling in response to changing conditions when you don't know when those conditions will change. So guys, demand, like we don't know when the demand will increase. So simple things, when the demand increases, it will automatically add. When the demand decreases, it will automatically remove the servers. You can see the diagram. Low demand period, like suppose two customers or three customers are using, so we have suppose two servers. If the demand increases, we are getting many resources, many customers, many traffics coming. So what does the load balancer will sorry, the auto scaling group, what it will do, it will increase your instances or resources to handle the queries or to handle the traffic. So, and the next one is the predictive scaling. The predictive scaling is a feature of AWS AutoScaling, uses machine learning. What I was telling, it uses the artificial intelligence and machine learning. A small example I'm giving, you would have seen, right, when you are going to buy something one from Amazon or from Amazon or Flipkart, while you are searching or while you log into your account, you'll see some suggestions for you in front of you, it will be there, right? So how they get the suggestions? Based in your history, based on history of searching, history of purchasing, they'll give you they'll give you the suggestions. How they do? They use the artificial intelligence and machine learning to do automatically for you. They give some suggested items, suggested product you may be interested to buy. Okay. Similarly, if you search for some products, they'll give you different products which you may be interested to buy it. They use those. So similarly, they use also predictive scaling in this auto scaling, where what they'll do, they will see the this particular time, suppose, and they will automatically predict the increase. Suppose what happens, how they do it, they keep the records of 6 months or 1 year of data, and this particular time our traffic will go off. We need more resources. So based on the auto scaling, based on that, so the artificial intelligence will decide what needs to be done on this particular. So here, what we don't have to worry about anything, because everything you have given the power to the machine to think about you. You don't have to do. You don't have to manually scale. You don't have to set up on demand. You don't have. In case of on demand, what happens when demand will come, it will be automatically add, right? But here a predictive scaling, actually it already predict the future. It will already predict the future. Before the traffic comes, it will increase it so that it will not never get. But in case of on demand, what happens when the demand comes, it will scale off. But here, before the demand, before the traffic comes, it will scale off. It is a future predictions, right? Always. So what happens here, it predicts the future traffic, including regularly occurring spikes, and provisions the right number of EC2 instances. Okay guys, that are these are the options. Do you have any doubt so far we need to discuss? Please let me know, or else we'll just go to the lab classes. Okay, anything you need to more understand in here, you just let me know, or else we'll go to the lab class directly.
Ranjit, this predictive scaling, we're talking about the predictive scaling. When you are going to predict, means how it will be predicted through, means for example, you given the example, Amazon, it will sell will come within 6 months once. How they will come to know, and how it will be increase our scaling and all.
Okay, so as I told, it keeps actually the track or history of suppose 1 year of data, because everything artificial intelligence or machine learning is works on the data only. Without data we cannot predict anything. Okay,
Yeah.
we cannot predict anything without the data. That means if you are using already have 1 year or 2 years of data you have, and in this 1 year 2 years period, you would have seen when in that particular time you have a spike to your application. Means this particular time you get more customers, you get more traffic to your servers, and you get some more CPU utilization. What I mean then, the predictions you have don't have to do. The predictions will be done by the ML or AI systems, right? That means you have to
Yeah.
write that particular code to see if this time, whenever you find a spike, that particular days, try to suppose you have to give not exactly particular date, but you have to how you have to do that like particular month or particular festive season area in that area, that time particular around that time you need a spike or need a increase in your load in your systems or in your application. You can set up accordingly so that before it goes to that particular date or nearing to the date, it will create and do the systems available for you.
One more thing, in bad case, I'm telling, this is a predictive. This one, this week it will be more user will be there. For
Hmm.
example, on this basis, that scaling will be happen.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
For example, that user may not be there on that time.
Okay.
For that week, that user may not be there, but you already increase your scaling and everything you given. uh, there this is a means how can again will be come down, means you come down that one, because this week they postponed or something like that. Is it
Exactly.
how again?
That's nice questions actually, Simram. So the thing is, that's really true, because you would have seen, right? This is what the predictions they are giving, that predictions can be true, can be false. So always
Yeah.
the future nobody can predict. Even the artificial intelligence and machine learning, it is a prediction. It could be happen, right? It could be happen. It's a
Yes.
predictions, but it cannot be, because that whatever you told, it's correct. It is a wastage of resources. You have to pay, but you are not going to get the customers. These predictions is not happens only 1 year data or 6 month data. They get some historical data for 5 years, 10 years data, and based on that they do the setups. This is the new scaling options which they are trying, but mostly actually companies they do on demand only. Okay, this predictive things
Yeah.
whatever in case of auto scaling actually it has come in the market newly to, because of demand in the artificial and machine learning they're trying to do it. But always predictions is never come true, right? It may or may not be.
Yeah.
We are dependent on
Yeah.
those machines directly, indirectly. In that case actually it's
Ranjit,
always on demand. Yeah, yeah, please.
yeah, Ranjit, in that case also, like, even though we are doing a predictive scaling,
Mm-hmm.
we have some conditions. Like, see, normally we use, like, our minimum scaling, minimum instance would be, like, two, in the sense. See, if we expected some traffic will come, like, traffic will get increased around 1 o'clock every day. So that time we will increase the instance up to three, or like, four, based upon the our need. So in that case also, even though for 2 hours every day we are giving, we are, like, expecting that more traffic, so we are allocating two more instance
Mm-hmm.
only for the few hours.
Mm-hmm.
That time also we are restricting to allocate the resource, right, by putting some condition, like, if the existing traffic is increased more than 80% or 70%, then scale will need to have taken care, like that. That
Yes,
command will be there,
yes,
right? So that we will unnecessarily increase the instance and all those things will get stopped, right?
exactly. So that time, see, that's why at that time what you have to do, you have to use the options for what, the scale based on a schedule. So scale based on a schedule, you have to set up that one. So based on your schedule here, so that's a, these are the options. It's up to you how, what you want to, based on your application need, right? Based on your requirement or based on your behavior or nature of your applications, you have to set up this kind of scalings. uh, Either you can go for schedule, go for demand, go for predictive. If you think like, if you have sufficient data and you want that your predictions will be 100 per 90% correct, right? Predictions would be 95%, you'll go for predictive scaling. Or you know that particular time you already know. See, this scheduling and prediction, it almost equal, right? The scheduling which is will be done by the human, like by us, at we know this particular time, we already know this particular time there will be a hike, there will be a spike, right, in the system. Then and we need that particular time, there will be an increase, there will be an increase in the resources. Similarly, the predictions we are giving directly to the machine to decide for us. That is the only difference. Here we are doing the humans, we at whatever scheduling the manually, we are setting up some codes and some right options for us, but that will be done by predictions by the artificial intelligence, by the machine learning. Okay.
Hi, Ranjit. Small doubt.
Yeah.
Here I'm going to take some two examples.
Mm-hmm.
First example is okay. We'll take the IRCT example. So normal timings the traffic is less,
Mm-hmm.
but in Tatkal timing like 10 to 12, the users will be trying to book the tickets more.
Yeah.
That is one of example. And another example, suppose if you take any university site,
Mm-hmm.
normal days only few people are logged into university and checking the information.
Mm-hmm.
But during the exam results, there's a lack of students trying to log in and see the exam results. So in these two examples, what type of auto scalings we need to prepare? Suppose in an exam university, I didn't select any on demand like that.
Mm-hmm.
So will system automatically decide predictive scaling, or do we need to define on demand?
See, the actually the predictive scaling is totally based on the historical data. The scaling will be done based on the historical data. If you have sufficient data, you want, because this, see, this kind of things like whatever IRCTC you talk like this particular time uh, connecting and all. So right, suppose the thing is in this case, on demand will be the best suitable option to go for that. When the demand comes, it automatically add it. Okay, because IRCTC like we don't know when exactly. Suppose when the demand comes, in case of something happened immediately, and think about this pandemic situations or anything like where people will be hugely booking the systems, right, booking the tickets, right. In that time their system will go down if they don't handle it well, right. Either they can go for on demand schedule, definitely they cannot go because they don't know when it will be scheduled, right. With schedule they can do setup for suppose some seasonal uh, things like festival or some things like where people will more book the tickets, they can just set up in that based on the schedule. But whatever the on demand, whatever you are talking, the best suited for the based on the demand, based on the demand it will increase.
Okay, then. So in this case, for example, IRCTC daily Tatkal timing is 10 to 12 minutes. So in that case, we can do a schedule, right? So on daily IRCT website on 10 to 12, I want to increase 10 resources. After that, you can take 2 resources. Is it
Exactly.
possible? Can we define like that?
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So when you say like the, yeah, they have also one window like 10 o'clock they'll open that for customers, and 11 o'clock suppose they open for the agents. In that case, what happened, the rest of the time actually they don't need actually the systems overloaded. So why unnecessary they go for the resources? They can decrease that one. So after they can schedule the timing like 10 o'clock exactly, because the 10 o'clock is booking started. So before 10 o'clock, 9:45 or 9:30 they can increase the resources, so that they can able to handle the loads. If I know, suppose I
Yeah,
have an applications, and that application is particularly actually I'm targeting some customers only the daytime, like particularly from 8 to night 8. So think about some banking applications, right, banking systems that opens only from some time, right, that will be anyway they nowadays they're giving 24 hours, but some applications also at there that particular time it will not be available. They can directly tell that time no traffic will be there. So they can easily do it with one server or two server maximum. They can use within two servers, they can do their applications, and that particular time they feel like not feel they can increase the servers and particular schedule time, so that customers will come and use the applications, right.
yeah. Last doubt.
Yeah, yeah,
Sorry for asking more doubts.
no problem, we can ask.
Uh, but, for example, university side, okay, they plan to give exam result by June. So they have on-demanded, I want 10 resources for June month to first 2 weeks. But in later, some changes happen. They plan to release the results by July. So in that case, initially we have planned to buy 10 resources in June month, but later we postpone different reasons. So
Mhm.
in that case, do we need to pay for those 10 resources in June month also?
See, if you are buying it, if you have already get those resources, but you are not using, yes, you have to pay it. So you already have got the resources and added to your groups. So in the group, right, in the group, when you are adding the resources, that does not mean that you are using it. Okay, but what you told like you already have started using it, you have scaled up, means you have suppose added three more servers. Even though you use or not, you have to pay for that. And suppose in June months or July months you don't need that, and you have to remove those twos. So in that, actually in this case always better for on demand. And here whatever example you told, actually you were talking about the manually scaling, right.
Yes, yes, yes.
So manually scaling is always is a risk, and always you have to pay more, because you are thinking like suppose this month it will be increasing, and you manually increase to three resources more, three instances, and you feel like, and you see like there is something happened, some strikes or something happened, and that particular month is gone. I don't know. So you'll be still waiting whether you'll get a spike, you'll get a spike, but you'll not get it. At the end of the month you are seeing you have not done any business, so it is totally waste. It's totally waste of money. You are still so that again what you have to do, you have to forcefully manually remove or decrease those three instances. So if you add, if you would have on demand, you would not have spent lots of money on that. If you know on demand, if you increase this, automatically it will add, and then demand decreases, it automatically decrease it, right? So manual always actually risk little has some risk, manually things, right? Yeah, please.
So, Ranjit, one question.
Hmm.
Like you told about auto scaling, like suppose you're not doing manually and it is doing automatically, and you're given for some duration. I mean to say this month will be like this, next month will be less, just like that. Okay. And if at particular time in a day
Hmm.
you need more space, more server, so what you do that time?
Yes. So you can go for the schedule, right? Auto schedule. That see, we have other options like it's called scale based on a schedule. If you need,
Hmm.
if you already know like this particular time, we need to increase
More servers,
two more
yeah.
servers. Then you can set up like
Hmm.
particular day at 10 a.m. I need two more servers to be added. So it will
Okay.
automatically
Hmm.
increase two more servers. And end of the
Got
day, like 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. IST, we don't need servers to be there because we are not going to get the customer. So it will automatically decrease to two more. So that can be,
So it will be charged accordingly,
it will
right?
be charged accordingly. Yes, exactly. So in
Okay, got
between 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., so you are going to use extra two servers. So you have to pay
it. Hmm.
for that two servers that particular time. The rest of the time when
Okay,
it decreases, you don't have to pay for that.
got it. Thank you.
Yeah, guys, any doubt or we'll go for lab classes?
We'll go to the lab.
Yeah. So let's go to the lab, and I have logged into my AWS Management Console. So if you go here, so this auto scaling comes under this EC2. Okay, just click on this EC2, and if you go down here, and you'll find where auto scaling options, right? We have launch configuration as well as auto scaling groups. Okay, so what we have to do first, we have to set up the auto scaling group as well as the launch configuration. So first let me start with the launch configurations. So this launch configuration actually uh, is going to be deprecated, and they have has added a new functionality that is called uh, launch templates. Instead of launch configurations, we are going to use launch templates. Okay, so even though they have added in this auto scaling section, let's click on this, and it will redirect, it will allow you to redirect to the launch templates. Okay, let me show you. Just click on the launch configuration. So you can see here create launch configuration options there. So just create launch configuration. And what it says, instead of using the launch configuration to create your EC2 auto scaling groups, we recommend that you use launch templates to make sure that you are getting the latest feature from EC2. So they had added the latest feature that is called launch template. Okay, so you can go start using here. You can, if you click here, you can go directly, but let me show you by clicking that ways. So instead of going launch configuration here, we can directly go to the launch templates. Select the launch templates, create. Okay, I have here few launch templates for my classes, and for my work I have here few templates are there. Okay, but I'm going to create one more template. So let me delete all this which is not required. I can select, go to action, delete. Okay, here also templating. Okay, I'll show you different versions, no problem. Okay, I deleted one template. So let me show you how to create it. Just go to go and create launch template. And here guys, remember, a launch template should be meaningful, which we are going to, suppose I'll go give us my auto scaling group ASG template. I just gave a name as it is my auto scaling group template, my ASG template. And it also has the templating. Wherever you are writing some codes, wherever you are setting up something, there should be some versioning control will be there, because you are going to version control your code or templates. So here you are going to give a version template, version description. Suppose I am going to give us uh, development, okay, dev 1.1 or 1.0 version, okay, template version descriptions. Now give a template tag. You can give a name here. You can give my SC. Next, what happens? If you have any templates, you want to source it, you can select it. It automatically sorts that template. But I'm going to show you from the scratch, fresh template to create. Okay, so I'm not going to use this option to source the template. Okay, now as I told, when we create any instances, we have to select some sort of images first, right? That is what AMI, immersion machine image. So we have to select the image, which image you are going to create. Suppose I am going to create Amazon Linux 2 machine. Select it here. It is selected. Now the instance type. Next comes the instance type. And here I'm going to use the free tier eligible, that is T2 micro. And the key pair, if you have already existing key pair, you can select it, or you can create new key pair here. So I have few key pairs. Suppose I just want to use my new key here. Then uh, here what happens, the networking platform, virtual private cloud, launch instances into virtual network in your own logical isolated areas within the AWS. You can select it, or you can use for EC2 classic launch into a single flat network that you share with your other customer. So I'll go with the VPC thing. And next you have to set up the security group. What sort of security group you need? If you have already created the security group, that's okay, you can select it here, or you can go create security group and select here. So I have some 13 or 14 security groups available here. Let me select that's why I always guys tell you, give a particular name to the security group. Okay, give a particular name to the security group, so that you can easily understand what is this security group is used for. Suppose here, if you see here, I have given Linux demo Linux SG, but I don't know what kind of firewall access given for which port. I cannot guess it here. It is a wrong choice. Okay, but if I go and check it here, SSH Tomcat HTTP, that means I can understand that I have given firewall access for SSH port, SSH Tomcat as well as HTTP, these protocols, right? Tomcat is not a protocol. I have just given a name, and Tomcat runs on port number 8080 default. Similarly, here I have given Jenkins, SSH, HTTP, Tomcat. So I can select any one of them. Suppose let me select this SSH, Tomcat, HTTP. I selected the security group. The storage you have to select. By default, it takes 8 GB. You would have seen while creating manually, right? Same default 8 GB. EBS volume. I'm going to store select it, and you can give a tag. So I'm not going to give a tag, just leaving it, or you can give name and give a resource type or value. Okay, I'm not going to give anything now. Now the network interface, select it. So this actually not required to do it. I am just going to uh, leave it as default. So the network interface will learn in our VPC classes. That time we can set up this network interface. I'll show you how to set up this network interfaces, okay, in the VPC section. Now I'm not going to use anything here. Let me remove it. Next thing we are going to see in the advanced details. So in the advanced details, we'll see, we would have seen in while creating the launch page, right? You will be seeing some details, advanced details are there. If you visualize the manual thing, just try to visualize in the manual process how we do the same thing, also given it here, what we need to set up, the same thing, termination, protection, shutdown variable, or all these informations are there. Okay, the tenancy, everything in the manually, when we select, everything will be there. So I'm leaving everything default. Also, we have some user data sections. Okay, why here the user data or the bootstrap script is very important here? Because whenever you are creating any instances or scaling of any instances, there should be the applications available and the servers should be installed prior to the server boot up, right? Once the server is boot up, your application should be ready to serve the purpose of your application to the customer, right? That information you can add it here. Like suppose I want to install Apache server. Okay, I can just do that and select. Suppose let me do that. Write a small script here. Win, sorry, win pass. Okay, I can do yum object hyphen y yum install http y. So what next we need to do? We need to start the server, right? So service httpd start. Now only these things I'm going to do. I'm not going to write in the index file. If you want to do the index file, guys, let's do that as well. So just type echo within double quote. Suppose I'm giving simple HTML tag here in. So the base path is var www html then index.html. Okay, so now let's create launch template. We created one MySC template successfully. If you go to launch template, see this template has created and default version is 1 and latest version is 1. Okay, so tomorrow suppose there is some changes to your requirement or changes to your applications, you want to change your template, you can go ahead and create a template and it will create another versions like 2. Here you can see the latest version. These two applications or two templates has latest versions 2, but default is selected 1. But in this case I created whatever has only one version. Okay, has only one version. Let's go ahead. Now what we have to do, we created the configurations or template. Now we have to set up the auto scaling groups. Okay, so just go ahead this auto scaling groups. Okay, create auto scaling group here. Good. Now we have to give a name to the group. Suppose I can see same thing, my ASG, simple things I gave my ASG. Now here you have to select the template, which template we created for our applications to run to create, right? Suppose here I'm going to select my ASG template, select it. So versions here, as I have only one versions, we don't have any latest version created, so we can select only one version, default version, latest one, default also one, and single version available now. And you can see the this version definition dev 1.1 and all these informations. Just click next. Uh, you can select the other to launch template, whatever the launch template options I want to create that one. So I'm going to other it, and the networks here you have to select which network you are going to select. So I don't have any custom VPC, so I can select the existing VPC or default VPC. So here the subnet, actually we can find three subnets. As I told, in one particular region there will be three or more than three availability zones available, more than three availability zones based on the region. So in the Mumbai region we have three availability zones. I'm going to select all these availability zones to make it disaster recovery ready. Okay, so three three selected, three subnet I selected. Now next, here, so here we can see the attached to a load balancer. I don't want to attach any load balancer now, so leave it as default. Health checks, we have to do the health checks. So health check type EC2 auto scaling automatically replaces instances that fail health checks. If you enable the load balancing, you can enable ELB health checks in the addition to the EC2 health checks. But we don't have any ELB health check type, we have only EC2 health check. That is what we need. Okay, so we have EC2 health check, and the grace period like 300 seconds, that is 5 minutes. So every 5 minutes it will do the first health check of your instances, and then it will do that. So let it be there 5 minutes, like 300 seconds. And additional settings, if the monitorings for the CloudWatch, we'll learn once we finish this CloudWatch things. So you can select this if you want to add for the CloudWatch. Okay, I don't want to add it now. So next, here this is very important. The thing is the desired capacity, how much you want, and the maximum what is, and the maximum, sorry, the minimum and the maximum. Suppose the desired capacity I want 3, or desired capacity suppose 4, minimum is I'll make it less, or necessary I'll pay for that. Okay, 3, then I'll go for 2, maximum I can go for 5. Okay, desired 3, minimum 2, maximum 5. So the scaling policies, I'm not going to choose any kind of policies. I will select no, it's optional, you can select, or leave it none. So in protections, enable instance scaling protection. I don't want to do that. Unnecessary, it will pay, I have to pay for more on that. Okay, so now go ahead and next. So notifications, if you have any SNS notifications, if you want any servers goes down in that place, when it creates any servers, it will send an notifications to the team, to the administrator, or to the management, or to anybody, whatever you have set up. See the instance topic, you can select. Suppose I have one instance topic called ASG SNS. I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, now event types, on what event it will trigger the email, on what event it will trigger the email, that you have to set up. Whether you are going to create one or launching any instances, that time it will trigger email, terminate, fail to launch, or fail to terminate. All these 4 types of events it will trigger the email. So now I can go ahead and add, sorry, click on next. As I don't have this topic available as SGNS SNS, I'm not going to get any notifications. However, I can set up like this. Okay, now click, go ahead and click next. So what we can do next, what I can do, I can remove this notification, don't add it here. Now I can go ahead and click next. So the tags, similarly name and all these things, okay, I don't want to add it, leave it. Now just review whatever you have given is correct. Okay, so if you see here, name, launch template, this is the correct template I have used and the correct version. You have to be careful while selecting the versioning. Okay, and then networks, I have availability zone and default VPC, load balancing none, health check is C2, and group size all right, everything is there. Now go ahead and create auto scaling group. sorry. So auto scaling is now has been set up, right? Let's do that. Refresh it. It is just updating the capacity. 1 second. Just wait for few seconds. It will take some time because okay, I have a questions for you guys. What will happen here? So I selected the group. As for our requirement, I set up the auto scaling group. What will happen now? What we have to do next, or what will happen? Okay, you might not be
You have to, when you create a auto scaling group, that means that you are creating an infrastructure from the scratch. So somehow you have to launch the auto scaling group, so it will create those instances automatically, like the total number of free servers and all the stuff it need to create.
exactly. So you can see here. So as soon as I launch the or create the auto scaling group, it will create 3 instances for me. That is the desired capacity. It will create me 3 instances, and the minimum should be 2. Minimum should be 2. Maximum I've given it 5. Based on the increases, it will increase, right? Based on the load, it will increase. So if I go my EC2 instances, you will see 3 instances will be created now. I did not create anything. I set up in the template and set up the auto scaling group, right? If I go here, and you will find 3 instances will be created for me. See, 3 instances has already started creating, already running. See, all these 3 instances created as part of the auto scaling groups. So this is the security groups we had selected, and it has a different availability zone automatically, 1A, 1A, 1B. It has, see, all this, and we did not give any tag for this because we created through the template. We did not give any tag. So if I check here, we have now 3 servers running. Now let me just go to any one of the server. Okay, to do our better understanding, I can just rename this name, just give one, suppose server s1, anything. I'm just giving server names s1 and s2. I can give it s3. Got it. So in our bootstrap script or in our user data, we had given the uh, some instructions to install the Apache server and our index.html. So let's select this, go here and check whether our server is running or not. Wow, it's great. So it is now, our server is running. Now in our auto scaling, whatever we had done is user data, the same things if you do for other instances, because these all servers having your suppose will be having the same applications. Okay, now let me go and do for s2. Just copy it and you'll find the same thing for that as well. See, all 3 will have the same applications based on the RAM. So Ranjit, you are always you are saying like it did not work. You might be having some space or something extra character, because you saw whatever we set up in our user data, we can easily get created the servers and host our applications, right? Our applications is running now. Okay guys, you got the point, right? You got uh, we had set up desired capacity 3. The desired capacity, based on the desired capacity, it created 3 servers. If you would have set up desired capacity 2, then it will have set up 2, right? Now let me do one thing. Suppose what I'm going to do, I'm going to terminate one instances. Okay, let me terminate one instance. So we have our desired capacity and everything has been set up here. Let me do the terminations now. So if I go here and select any one of the server, suppose S2, I'm going to terminate it. Let's terminate the instances. So I terminate one instances, right? So guys, what will happen now?
One alert, we configure one notification.
Yes. So based on the terminations, we'll get an alert first. Okay. Based on the notifications, whatever we had set up, based on that, we'll get an alert and immediately we'll see that there is something happened in our servers. As we have set up our auto scaling groups, it should automatically create one more application for you. The first alarm you'll get, the first notifications you'll get, there is a shutdown or there is a terminations or there is a application problem and you got an alert or got a notifications. If in another 5 minutes, if you did not get any other notification that the launching of the server, what will happen? The auto scaling group will check the desired capacity is 3, but we have only 2 applications running. What it will do, it will automatically create one more server for us. It will create automatically one server for us. Okay, so just refresh this page and we'll see it will be creating one more server. Okay, just wait for that. Okay, now it has created already. If you go in, see it automatically create one more server for us. Guys, I terminated S2, right? That's why the name is not there. I terminated it and you can see here automatically it created, so it will never let it down below 3. Whatever it is there, it will create same things, right? Now if I go and check the IP addresses here, what we'll see, we have the same applications will be running. See, based how it will automatically get the, because it automatically I terminated it, so auto scaling group is automatically created one server for us, automatically created one server for us, and whatever the applications based on the instructions we had given in the user data, it did all those things. That means you never get a downtime or any period for your customers. Your customers will always have access to your applications. Okay, now let's discuss about more on the auto scaling things. Okay, so if you go the auto scaling part and select this auto scaling group. Okay, so more details you can find it here about this your auto scaling or about your versions or anything. Suppose you want to see about the storage details, you can find it out here. I don't have any storage extra added for that. So network interface, advanced details, all the informations, whatever the kernel information. See the user data also available here, whatever we had given in the templates. This is the user data which, and tomorrow if you want to edit this template and you want to make it something else, what you can do, you can simply suppose let me add this template, remove sorry let me change this template. So what I'm going to do, so what I'm going to, this is the, okay, for that what I need to update something to the template first. Let's go to the templates, let's add something, edit this template, okay, and add new more things into that. So let's do that, modify template, okay, action and then modify template, and here give a different versions. Suppose I'll give as dev 1.1. So for last latest one is 1.1, and the rest of the things leave as it is. I'm not going to change anything, but only I'll change the user data section, something I'll change it here. Let me Add.
Ranjit, keep it. If we are running, keep it as decided capacity as 2.
Sorry, Madhi.
If you are changing, if you are going to launch the template again, like I'm just telling, like make keep the decided capacity as 2. We'll see if you are running. Otherwise, no need for this launch template. Now you are creating it, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
At the updated version.
Yes, yes. I'll update it. I'll update it. Yeah. In where I have to change the digit capacity.
No, see, if you're, the launch template, you are updating it, right?
Okay.
So in that, if you're updating, right, so you are making
No,
the
no,
decided capacity as 2.
I'm asking you actually where I have to change the desired capacity. It's a question to you. It's question to everyone. Can you tell where I have to change the desired capacity? In the template or where? Sorry?
Auto
Autoscaling.
scaling.
Auto
Auto
scaling, auto
scaling.
scaling.
Yeah, in the auto scaling group. Okay. In the so you have to remember all this. Okay. In the auto scaling group, we have to change the desired capacity because suddenly if you do something, if you modify, if you don't remember why to do, then you have to go here and there, and then at last you'll find it out. So if you remember why to update, you just go to the auto scaling group, and there you have to change the setups. Okay, I'm not going to, so I just immediate quickly change this one, small changes to this, and I'm going to add something called uh, okay, so created template version. Okay, successfully created version number 2. Now what I'm going to do now, so let's go to the issue, and I'm going to change the group. Okay, auto scaling groups. So as per Madi, he wants to do the desired capacity as 2. Okay, so let me do that. Go to this launch template. So in the launch template, what we are going to edit it. Okay, we are going to edit it. So go to action, modify, where I am into the template section. So, okay, auto scaling groups. See, I created the template instead of clicking the name. Okay, I clicked here. Okay, so my SG. Now I'm going to edit here. Okay, before editing these things, let me show you something different, some other things. Here you can see the activity, what are the activities has happened, and you can find the activity logs. So here you can see failed, all the logs you can find it here in the activity history, what has happened. Failed to launch, failed to launch, failed to launch, and successful one is successful. It launched one EC2 instances. All the informations you can find it over the activity history activity. So all pages available, you can find it out here. Now in the auto scaling, automatic scalings, right? In this section, we are talking about the various options. That options you can do setup over here, dynamically selling options. Okay, the predictive scaling based on the schedule, all this you can do the setups here, the options are available. Okay, so you can just go and create, suppose I'm going to giving only one example, suppose scheduled actions. So click on this scheduled action, give a name to that, give the desired capacity, give a resource, and reoccurrence only once, and specify start time and this particular date, suppose September month, Saturday 11, and this particular time, suppose 000 etc universal time, right? That time it will be automatically get. So you can just select all these options, desired capacity suppose 2, minimum capacity is 2, maximum 4. Okay, and name, give a name to that, uh, SG schedule, any name you can give. Now click on the create. It's very simple, I'm not going to click it, just you have to create it. So particular at this particular time it will automatically do that. Okay, So this is a task, guys, for you. If you want to do practice, you do by yourself, setting up a schedule time. Suppose if you want to do that and just wait, give a date, suppose today's date, give a particular time and try to just do R&D for that. This is a task for you. But whatever I'm going to do, I'm not going to show you everything in one place so that we'll do that. No, that's not the way to get master in there or learn, right? So you do by yourself, doing whatever the steps I'm just showing you, but you have to do and wait for that particular time to see the automatically scheduling happening or not. Then next class we'll discuss. Okay, this is a task for you guys. Now I'm just canceling it, I'm not doing. And what about the things you can do? Predictive, as I told, the predictive scaling policies use historical data. I always tell, right, historical data to scale out your group ahead of forecasting. So we don't have any historical data, so minimum 1 year or 2 years or 5 years of data if you have, then based on that you can do a predictive scaling setups. Okay, now the instance management. In this instance management sections, you will find what are the instances and the details about, see, health status and the availability zone, everything you can find it out here. And the monitoring section, you can just do the monitoring sections, and we have not set up the cloud watch metrics for that. We node while creating, you can do this auto scaling setup. Whatever the dashboard, it will be created automatically for you, and you will find out the uh, details about the auto scaling groups. So here I have selected minimum group size, maximum, everything you can check it here. Okay, it will give you the informations. Now if you select EC2, similarly for EC2 servers, whatever the instances we have running it here, these three instances, all the health checks can be monitored in the EC2 sections here. Okay, see, the CPU utilization, disk read, and all this info, disk write, network, all this in you can see it here. See, all the informations you can find it here. Similarly, the instance refresh and all these informations you have to get it here. Now let me go to these details. Desired capacity. Okay, so Madhi was telling to check the desired capacity. Now let me edit the desired capacity to 2, update it. So what will happen, guys, if I do this desired capacity? Specify the size of autoscaling group by changing the desired capacity. You can also specify the minimum and maximum capacity limits. Okay, so if I, as Madhi told, to remove or to reduce the desired capacity, I just did it, update it. What will happen now?
One will be killed most probably. One terminate and two will be there.
Exactly. So one server will be automatically terminated because as per our desired capacity, we have set up only 2. That means only 2 servers should be there and the other one will be terminated. Okay, other one will be terminated. So if I go here, C2 dashboard, see, it's automatically terminated. Automatically one S3 is terminated. Now we have 2 servers only. So it's very simple, guys.
It
So
will terminate randomly any instance or like or the last one which is it.
It actually terminates the from the last one because all the servers have equally the same configurations, right? It does not matter which server because it works on the autos template. The template is equal for all 3. It does not matter which server it is terminating because all are similar and all are replica of each other. If any one is terminated, that's fine, other 2 will be there to serve the purpose, right? That's okay.
The subnet group for all these instances are different or same?
It will be different.
You created.
It will be different. If you see the subnet group here, we have for one server is in availability 1A and the other one is availability 1B. Different, different things, right? Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to, so if I refresh this page, okay, let's take this one, and I think this is the S3 server, and which has no more there. This is running, and this is okay. So this is the S3 one which has gone. Now let me remove this one, not there. Okay. Now these two servers are running. If I add one more questions, guys, for you, if I add and do the changes, let me do some changes to my group again. So if I refresh this, okay. Now let me just modify this SG again. So desired capacity is 2. I'm going to add desired capacity 3, update. What will happen? Obviously, it will create one more instance for us. That's very simple, right? But this time what will happen? Remember, we created the template. We modified the template. What will happen this time? Quickly, guys. You should understand it. What will happen? I modified the template. I modified the template and added one more line in the index.html, right? So which server now it will create? What will be the applications now? Whether the updated one or the old one. It has created now one more.
Updated one. The new one what you created in that the extra line will be created. The old two won't have the new entry.
Okay, so let's see. Just select this one, paste it here. Okay, so it's just creating. It will take some time. 1 second. Let's refresh it. But it did not give me. It gave me the old one. Why? As for our thing, we updated the template and it should give us the updated one. But it did not give us the updated one. But it's still giving us the old one. Why?
Maybe because of the disaster, you changed to 3 to 2.
No, we
Due to
just
that.
updated the template, but we did not update these things in our auto scaling group, right? So in the auto scaling group also we need to change it. You have to go to the auto scaling group and you have to choose the which version of template you want to use. In our auto scaling group we are using still the old version of version of the template. So if you see here, launch template, we are still using dev 1.0, which is the old version, older version. I need to suppose use the newer version. So what I have to do, I have to go here, edit it to the newer version. Suppose your default is 1 and I have version 2, latest is 2. I can select latest 2. So here it check the 1.1 version, right? Now save it, update it. Okay. So I updated the auto scaling group. Now if I go here, so all servers are running. There is nothing happened. So if I refresh all these pages, I'll see the applications at the same the old, because it is using the old version of the template. If I go here and modify the group again to desired capacity to 4, let me do another instances. Okay, so let me just quickly modify this, edit it, make it 4, update it. So what it will do, it will create one more server for us, right? But this time the server will have the newer version of the template. Okay, so if I go here, Just wait for a few seconds and let it create one more server for us. Okay, so it is creating. You can see here it is pending. Now it is creating one server for us. So let's go to instances running and refresh this page. Okay, 3 are there and it is one more is getting up now. So just wait for a few seconds. It will create one. See, another server also created. Now fourth number server is running. Okay, just refresh it.
Is there any other way like we can know like this instance is created for this auto scaling group? Because maybe in real time there are many instances are created.
No, Tanmay, sorry, I did not get you. What do you want to say?
Uh, I have two businesses, or there are two separated or more than one business.
Mhm.
I put it auto scaling like for both these businesses. Let's say 5 or something. Okay, so at the same time, multiple instances are creating. How will know that like these instances is for this service or this business, and that any other like identifier or
The,
unique
Guys,
identifier so
the
that we can.
yeah, that's great questions. Guy, can anybody answer his questions? If you understand properly, if you answer Tanmay's question, that will.
uh, open one instance and we can find out. I think it will refer to the auto scaling group or template itself. If we click one instance, I think we'll find out the
No, that
details
is
there
the
itself.
second part. That is the part to check it. But I don't want to. Okay, that you can check it and you'll find it which. But how we can achieve this one? First, my question is how you can achieve this one. Whatever Siba told is the secondary part. The secondary part to how to check which things are being used. But how we can achieve this one? Suppose I have two LOVs, two line of business, and I need two different kind of instances to be created. How I can achieve that?
Can we include multiple template in the auto scaling group?
Exactly.
Two template having different set of definition.
Exactly. So we have to use different templates for different businesses. Two different templates is for two different businesses. And what was Tanmaya's questions? Siba that is replied, answered, like you can select, you can go to the instances and to scaling group and you can see the which templates are being used to create the instances. That you can find it out. Okay, I'll show you. Let me first check the fourth number instances, and this time it will have the updated, version. See, hello cloud and have a good day. The fourth one, but the previous one has the older versions of the template. Now it also does two kinds of templates. We can use it here. First version was used by these applications and this server using out the latest template what we used. Got it? Now I have to quickly delete this one. I don't want to keep it more time, otherwise I have to pay more money for that because I have multiple instances in my, I have around 8, how many, 8 instances, so I have to pay more money for that. I don't want to waste my money. So what I'll go here, how I have to terminate this, it's very simple. Go to the auto scaling group. I'll show you. So you have to select this number and delete it. So what will happen if I delete, guys?
Because four
Again,
Sorry.
it will remove the 4 instances.
Exactly, it will remove the 4 instance. So you have to do in this way. If I go separately and delete the instances, what will happen?
It will recreate.
automatically it will create.
Exactly. So it will never allow you to delete anything because whenever you delete, it will create one more. Whenever you delete, it will create one more. Unnecessary. You have to be in an infinite loop. You will be deleting, it will be creating. It will be deleting, it will be creating. Okay. So the first thing is you have to just come here. You are not using any more auto scaling. Just come here and delete it. Simply delete. Done. So as soon as you delete this, what will happen? If I go here and refresh this page, you see Just wait for a few seconds. It will terminate all the instances. See, no matching found now. Now it terminated all the 4 instances which was created as part of the server. Okay.
Ranjit, do you need to delete the template also? Okay.
Yeah, we can delete the template, or if you can keep the template, that's well enough. That's fine. I'll tell you something about the templates. That's why I kept it. Just wait for a few seconds. So it's deleting. Okay, it will let it be deleted. If I go to the instances sections now, I'll find all these instances are now terminating. S1, S2, and these blanks are now terminating. Okay, so we are with asking about this launch template, right? So if I go this launch template, you can see I have few other templates, my previous classes or my own demo. I have created few things which is already there. Now suppose this template we used for our auto scaling group, that is fine, but you can use this individually as well. How to use individually? Suppose you need immediately, there is a requirement comes and your manager told you, go ahead and quickly create one instances with this requirement. If you already have templates set up, you don't have to worry about it. You just jump into that, click into that, and just click instances. It will be created for you. How you will do that? Let me show you. Go to EC2 instances, launch. You can see 2 options here, right? Launch instance and launch instance from template. You can find 2 options here, right? So just go ahead and launch instance from template. So select the template here, my EST template. As soon as you select the template, it will have give you the versions, which version of template you want to choose, dev 1.1 or dev 1.0. Suppose I want to select second version, and the number of instances here, if you want requirement comes 5 instances to create, select 5 here. It will create 5 instances with the same template configurations. Okay, I want to suppose create one. I don't want to waste time. Okay, now when you select the templates, everything will based on the template setup. Everything comes based on the template. See, whatever we have selected in the template, it is there. Now go ahead and launch instance from the template. See, immediately it is launching. We don't have to select all the things, right? Just go ahead and view. Just go to your EC2 and go to your instances, and you'll find one thing one will be creating. Okay, so just refresh this page. See, one is running now. If I go here, running instances, you'll find one server is now running. I created directly from the template. I did not go and in this options also you'll find this launch instance and launch template. So if I go here, get the IP addresses, go to here, paste it. Just wait for a few because it is just initializing the servers and everything. It is not yet initialized, so just wait for a few seconds. See, our application has come up now. So I used the second version 1.1, so it is now running. So guys, it's clear. We are already done that.
Ranjit,
Yeah, we can ask question.
small doubt.
Yes, please.
Actually, so in this auto scaling group, initially we have created 3 servers,
Mm-hmm.
and where we can see only first line of message, hello cloud, this is auto scaling demo.
Yeah.
But we have modified some other information, have a good day,
Mm-hmm.
and we have modified everything. But only new server, whatever the created after modified, is showing this have a good day message, but other 3 servers are not showing, right?
Yes,
Yes.
But in real time, we should, whatever we have updated, everything is should populate the same message, right?
exactly. That you got the exact point. So in that case, what we need to do, guys? we have to fall into the real deployment case. So DevOps comes into the picture to rescue these things. So what happens? We did the changes to the autoscaling group and use the different version. But what happened when we use the default different versions? Our next servers are using our desired capacities. We are using our newer versions. So if you want the newer versions of the template or newer versions of the applications, what you need to do first in the real time scenario I'm talking about, first you have to create two instances with the oldest with the newer versions. That means the desired capacity increase to, suppose you have 3, just increase to another 3, give 6. So what will happen? The next 3 will be created with newer versions, with created newer versions. Okay,
Remove the old.
remove the old. That's simple, and you will get the all newer versions of applications. That is what you have to do, and the right questions you asked actually. That is why I was expecting somebody to ask. So this is how you have to
And
do that.
one more thing,
Yeah,
for like a load balancer, we are using a DNS link for so that whenever it is request count is increasing, it is directly redirecting to first server and second server.
mm-hmm,
But in this case, we have created 4 instances with
mm-hmm,
a different 4 public IPs.
mm-hmm,
But in real time, suppose if I take IRCTC,
mm-hmm.
I'm using only IRCTC. So whenever it is increasing, it is internally it is redirecting or increasing this count. But here we are using 4 IPs for 4 servers.
Yeah, okay.
But how
So
exactly?
exactly, yeah. So the load balancer when we set up. So what is the role of the load balancer? Can anybody tell the answer? What is the role? What is the usage of the load balancer?
It will control the traffic. It
Exactly.
controls the traffic like
Exactly. It will control the traffic, user traffic. So what is the usage of the auto scaling group? Based on the increase in the
To increase,
traffic, it will increase.
increase the number of instances.
Exactly. So the load balancer duty is to redirect the traffic based on your server load. So suppose we have 4 servers in our auto scaling group. We have 4 servers. So based on the server's load, the load balancer is redirecting the traffic to the servers. And even if those 4 servers is overloaded, the load balancer, what it can do, it cannot do anything because we don't have any server available. It has to just simply sit and watch because there are no servers available to redirect the traffic. In that case, we will come to rescue the auto scaling group. It will automatically create and put one server in front of the load balancer. Then load balancer redirect the traffic to the auto scaling to the new server. You got the funda, right? You got the details. This is how it is should work.
Ranjit,
Yes, yes.
the
I
auto
understand the
scaling
point.
is auto
Yeah,
scaling
actually, I understand.
basically depend on the resource. I think they will resource the scaling and increasing and decreasing
Yes, based on
resources.
exactly based on the resources. Based on the resource only it will be.
And load balance is on traffic. How the traffic can be controlled.
Exactly. That is the resource, the
Yeah.
user traffics or the load, user load. So in load balancing also we have seen based on the different locations, different setups, the load balancing works. Okay, you can set up like 20%, 30% of load, 40% of load. The user request complete. Yeah, whatever Tanmay Subram said, it is actually user request and it works on the resources. That's true.
Yes, Ranjit, I understand your point, but
Mhm.
still I have confusion. Like,
Okay.
uh, just comparing with outside, like uh, there we are using only one link, but here 4 public IPs are there because of four
You have to
servers are
link
created.
because your
Is
web
it?
page, your
Actually,
suppose you are hosting the website, it will link to the 4 IP. Means then load balancer will redirect the resource to the 4 servers. Okay, so your load increase, it make another server instance. So now the request will be rotated to the 4 because you are not, when you are striking a website, you don't know which server it will strike your request. Okay. So it will runtime, the load balancer will decide. Suppose your load increase to suppose 80%, 90%, you have a schedule. Now you have 5 servers. Now the load balancer, while triggering to this particular host, means that particular the address, now it has 5 server to trigger this request.
Yes, once the request is received from the requester, the load balancer will define which service is available so that it will be
How,
redirected.
yeah, Ranjit,
So
how
they
you
say
map
we are using.
that particular extra address,
Once.
because it won't be available. I am not linked that particular host to my web page.
Okay. So let me just draw a simple diagram here. I'll quickly just draw a simple diagram here, and you can easily find it out. Suppose this is our load balancer. Okay, and we have suppose this. Let me quickly do it. We have one server. I just created 5 servers here. Suppose 4 servers here. Okay, I created 4 servers here. 4 servers here. So what happens? Our auto scaling group, I need to add one. So let's do our auto scaling things. Okay, fine. Suppose this is my auto scaling group. My auto scaling group here. Okay, auto scaling group here. Now what happens? Uh, quickly, I'm just taking time. So one. So here our ASC. This one is our ASC, and this one is our ELB. This is our load balancer, and this is our auto scaling group. Okay, now what this auto scaling does, based on the resources availability, resource loads, resource uses, okay, resource traffic uses, it increases or decreases, it scale up or scale down the servers. Okay, what the load balancer does, it redirects the traffics, to the there is no sketch, right? Okay, fine. So it just redirects the traffic here. Okay. Oh my god. Okay. So simple things you can do. I should buy one pen, that pad, right, to write it down. Okay. So what this auto scaling group is does, it automatically redirects the traffic to the different servers, right? This auto scaling, what it does, it just redirects the traffic to the servers. Okay, suppose this all these 4 servers is exhausted, and we don't have ASG setup. Actually, we don't have AXC here. Okay, these 4 servers are exhausted, and it has already 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%. If the new request comes, what will happen? It will not go through any servers. It will be still waiting. The any one server is free, so that the request will be transferred to that particular server, the traffic to particular server. Okay, but if we put ASG here, what will happen? The ASG will create automatically one more server, and your load balancer will redirect the extra traffic to the server. Now you understood what is the role of ASG. It increases the resources, and it increases the load balancer. And this should be, while we creating the auto scaling group, we had options to select the load balancer. I showed you, right, that you have to select the load balancer on top of that. So Venkat, did you understand or still you have any doubt?
Yes, yes, Ranjit. I think we, while doing this practice, we'll try to attach one load balancer to the auto scaling group. Then we can try
Yeah, that is what
some.
that is what the lab thinks. That is okay. But you did you understand the concept? If you understood the concept, that
Yes,
is what we need. First thing, you understood the
yes,
concept.
and
Yeah, that's okay. If you understood the
yes,
concept, that's anything you can do it. Okay. Lab is
yeah,
the different part, but if you understood the concept, how to achieve that, that is why I always trying guys telling you, if you understood the concept, the visualizing the thing will be easy for you. Here you have to always visualize what is happening here. The SG is auto scaling group is giving us the resources, but who is redirecting the traffic? Redirecting the traffic is done by the ELB. ELB will redirect traffic if there is the resource available. If there is no resource available, how it will redirect the traffic? Then the resource availability work is SG can do for you if you have set up the required capacity or desired capacity in the ASG, right? So guys, hope everything clear.